Hello and welcome. So today I decided to go treat myself at the local thrift store because, as I mentioned, February was a pretty heavy, challenging month, not just in terms of memories, but a flooded basement and a whole variety of other things. So I decided I'd start off March treating myself to one of my favorite things, which is shopping at my local Goodwill's thrift store. And it turned out I picked the perfect day. And yes, this is my Livian on Rose bag, but you can see it's a huge one. First is The Second Messiah. This is by Christopher Knight and Robert Lomas. I have their other book, The Hiram Key. So this will be an interesting read to see where that goes. I found this massive series, the Darkest Powers Trilogy. This is The Summoning, The Awakening, and The Reckoning. This is by Kelly Armstrong. And I picked this up for $6. So I thought that was an excellent find. The Bone Code. This is by Kathy Reichs. I think I said that right. A Temperance Brennan novel. So if you've ever watched Bones, that series is based on these books and the character Temperance, of course. The funny thing about finding this book is I just returned it to my public library because I didn't think I was going to get a chance to read it in time. And here it was at my local thrift store, and I picked that up for $4.50. So that'll be a great way to check out a new to me author because I've seen the series, but I haven't read any of her actual books. I have Star Woman by Lynn V. Andrews. I've read some of Lynn Andrews' work a number of years ago, so I'm looking forward to revisiting this author. We're made from stars, and to the stars we must return. And I noticed that in here, there's also a very cool bookmark from a store in Alberta. I always love the thrift store finds. Lately, I've found cards or beautiful signatures to people. So it's a cool surprise finding great reads and things inside the books as well. I picked up Cosmos by Carl Sagan, and this was $4.50, which it certainly wouldn't have been. Well, it's certainly not what I paid for the first version that I had years ago. So this is on his television's 13-part television series. Like I say, I'll be talking more about this in the live stream. There's a picture of Carl, someone who definitely was a big influence on my interest in astronomy and getting to learn about the stars. So I'm very much looking forward to rereading this. If you've seen some of my other book haul videos, yes, there are a few books that I used to have donated and have now repurchased. I found this beautiful copy of Drawing Down the Moon. This is by Margot Adler. I love this cover. This is also a book that I used to have years ago, and I hadn't thought of repurchasing it. I had read it. I enjoyed her work. I donated it. But now that I'm getting back into looking at various books and authors, it was a fascinating read, and she went and she spoke to a number of different groups about their different beliefs, a number of things. So I'm really looking forward to reading this again. So that was two books that I used to have that I ended up repurchasing. interesting. And so this one also has a tag on the appendix, scholars, writers, journalists, and the occult. Okay, obviously something of note to read there. I also, as I was walking in, I'll grab these out together. I know there's a fourth one. As I was chatting the other day, I think it was actually just yesterday with Kat during my live stream, how I haven't read Dean Koontz in a while. And I mentioned, I think, the book Watchers. So I decided to pick it up and revisit Koontz again. To be honest, I wouldn't read this book, except I've already read it before because it involves a dog and I'm always leery of stories with animals. But I know things turn out okay for the dog in this one. Pretty sure. That cost me all of $1, so worth a revisit. John Grisham, who I've never read before. This is The Appeal. It was also on the $1 shelf. So I figured this would be a good time to give him a try. Politics has always been a dirty game. Now justice is too. So that'll be an interesting read. Found another Dean Koontz for $1. This is Winter Moon. And I think I've read this one before as well. So we'll revisit that. And as I said, I used to have the Watchers years ago, so that was 3. Bought them again, books. Then, because if you've seen my channel, I love the paranormal. I'm always fascinated by it. And I really love ghost stories. So I picked up Fireside Ghost Stories and Ghost Stories of Pennsylvania. I found the other Koontz book that cost me $1. This one's Whisperers, and I know I enjoyed his earlier stories. I haven't tried any of his newer books because, like Stephen King, I used to read King and Koontz when I was in high school, and yes, that was back in the late 1970s, early 80s. And I'd read King up until Dolores Claiborne, and then kind of stopped reading him and got more into a lot of the nonfictions. But as I was traveling around, I did also find Mr. Mercedes. I've heard about this recently, and I did read King short story collection, If It Bleeds, It Leads, and one of the characters I believe is from here. The other book I decided to pick up is The Dark Half. I don't remember reading this one before, but I know I've heard quite a bit about it, and I'm pretty sure I just recently on Book Songs and Other Music, I'm pretty sure Gareth talked about these 2 books when he was mentioning his collection. If you haven't seen it, go check out his channel. I have links to it on a few of my other videos lately, and he does a really great job. The last book that I picked up is Of Mice and Men. This is by John Steinbeck. I'm surprised what a short story it is, but I believe thriller, gripping tale you'll not set down until it's finished. Well, it's a good thing it's short then. I picked this one up because I got into a conversation with someone while I was shopping, and we were talking about banned books and the banned book challenge. She hadn't heard about it, so she's going to start doing it now, and she was actually looking for a copy of 1984, which they didn't have in the store, and we got into this big conversation about having read it and things in the world. So I need to double check because I don't remember this title on the banned book list, but that was my huge shop. Here's the one group of books that I have. Here are a few more. the big book by Sagan, and then these three.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
I decided to treat myself, it turned out, on a day that the store was having a huge sale. Plus, I signed up to get emails for when they have sales and saved 25%. So that was a huge haul, which will make me a very happy little camper. And I now have a ton of stuff to read. And it was cute because the clerk who was checking me out, we got into a conversation the last time I was there, and she also happened to sub to my channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the content. And as I said on my way out, I now have a whole ton of material for new content coming up in the future. Anyhow, not going to tell you too much about the books. Just wanted to share my exciting haul and great finds this time.